What's wrong?
Hey there, Yellowjackets fans. We've got a wild ride to break down today as we dive into Season 3, Episode 8. It's been a season full of twists, turns, and plenty of unsettling moments, but this episode, it might just be one of the most intense yet. We're going to look at what went down in the wilderness and the present day, as well as dive deep into the characters' unraveling psyches. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. So let's jump right into it. This week's focus seems to be on Shauna, who in both the past and the present timelines appears to be losing her grip on reality. We've known since the start of the show that Shauna has had her issues, but the cracks are really starting to show now. Her unraveling is one of the key plot lines that keeps us on the edge of our seats. The past timeline. The episode opens with a vision of Shauna seeing Jackie, who is not just haunting her in spirit, but also in her mind. Jackie is seen buying groceries, but it's a twisted version of normalcy. Shauna is behind the counter and tells Jackie that she doesn't like being called shipman anymore, which is a small but significant detail that shows Shauna is struggling with her identity. This moment, in a way, symbolizes Shauna's realization that she's veering off course, heading towards a path of self-destruction. And it's not just the vision of Jackie that foreshadows the danger ahead, it's also the moths she sees drawn to the light. Moths are often associated with destruction and death, and in Shauna's case, it seems that she's trapped in a cycle of both psychological and physical decay. As we transition into the real wilderness drama, Akilah and Travis are doing what they can to follow Cody, the one person who might know how to get them out of the woods. Travis, ever the optimist, believes they'll find a way back to civilization and can send someone else to rescue the girls. However, Akilah isn't so sure. She's skeptical of the plan, but reluctantly follows along, even leaving a trail for the girls to find, hoping it might lead to their salvation. In a bizarre turn of events, Misty, who's been missing her glasses since episode 1, stumbles upon the trail and excitedly follows it, hoping to reunite with the others. Misty doesn't waste any time in telling the girls, leading to more twists and turns as they prepare to find the rest of the group. Meanwhile, back at the camp, the girls are figuring out their next steps. They realize that they're stuck with a broken team. There's Hannah, who can't help them find their way out because she doesn't know where they are, but Cody does. Misty's realization that she's found the others leaves everyone feeling uneasy. It's clear that they're all starting to crack under the pressure of their situation as they discuss their options. Natalie takes charge, ready to take action, but things take a turn for the worse when Shauna sees something that makes her feel uneasy. A moth hovering over Melissa's head. Could this be a sign of things to come? The symbolism of the moth is hard to ignore. Natalie, desperate to escape, leads the girls in preparing for a 6-day journey. She's resolute, determined that they'll leave, but Shauna's gut feeling grows stronger and stronger. She even questions the group's desire to leave, which leads to a confrontation. While the majority of the girls are eager to get out, there's an increasing sense that something is wrong. As Lottie experiences another disturbing vision of animals dying, Ty begins to feel the same pull, and both women ultimately decide they can't go. They refuse to leave, with Lottie revealing that she fears being labeled unwell once back in society. The girls have felt a connection to the wilderness all along, and Lottie's admission shows just how much they've internalized that life. At this point, Shauna too has that sinking feeling. She tells the girls that they can't leave, and her sudden resistance takes the group by surprise. The question now is, can Shauna stop them from going? After all, she's not exactly in charge, and Natalie seems to have the momentum on her side. But with Shauna's stubbornness and the dark forces pushing her, it's clear that nothing is going to be simple in this episode. The present timeline. Now, shifting to the present timeline, things get even more twisted. Shauna, still very much unraveling in the present, decides to track down what she believes to be the home of Hannah's daughter, Alex. But plot twist, it's not just Alex she finds there, but Melissa too. Yes, you heard that right. Melissa, the girl who was believed to have died in the wilderness, is alive and well, living with her wife and child. The whole death narrative surrounding her has been a lie, and it's a huge revelation. The mystery of who really survived and how they've been living their lives all this time is starting to unfold. At first, Melissa seems caught off guard by Shauna's sudden appearance, but there's a strange tension between them. It turns out that Melissa had sent Shauna the tape, something Shauna had no idea about until now. Melissa explains that Hannah had left her a note, directing her to give the tape to Alex if she ever made it out. As the conversation continues, we learn that Melissa and Alex met after the crash and ended up starting a family together. Melissa's life appears to be nothing like the chaotic and tragic world of the Yellowjackets, but of course Shauna isn't buying it. Shauna accuses Melissa of being complicit in everything that's happened to her, blaming her for the recent fallout in her life. Melissa, on the other hand, tries to rationalize everything, telling Shauna that she's being paranoid. As the two women argue, there's a palpable sense of unease in the air. Melissa's calm demeanor only serves to make Shauna more agitated. This entire scene is charged with tension, and you can't help but feel like something is going to snap. Shauna, in her state of desperation and madness, gets more violent. She's clearly not in her right mind as she lunges at Melissa, leading to a physical confrontation between them. Shauna takes things to an extreme, biting into Melissa's arm and pulling out some of her skin. As if that wasn't disturbing enough, she then orders Melissa to eat her flesh, or else she'll expose her for who she really is. It's a brutal, harrowing moment that shows just how far Shauna has fallen. The girl who once seemed so composed and together is now a far cry from the person she used to be. Ty's struggles at the hospital. Meanwhile, in a separate storyline, Ty is still struggling with her dual personalities. The tension surrounding her mental state continues to grow, and in this episode, we see her split again into two separate forms. The real Ty stands outside Van's hospice room, while the darker version of her lurks inside. This split persona represents her internal conflict and the battle she's facing between the good and bad sides of herself. It's clear that Ty is deeply affected by the trauma of the wilderness, and her struggle to reconcile these two parts of herself is one of the show's most compelling arcs. Ty's internal battle escalates as she contemplates ending the life of a dying man to spare Van from suffering. Just as Ty is about to go through with it, she hesitates. The moment is heavy with emotion, but ultimately, she doesn't have the strength to carry it out. But the situation is made even more unsettling when the man's vitals begin to fade, and Ty's decision is taken out of her hands. It's a haunting moment that showcases just how far Ty is willing to go to protect those she loves. The cliffhanger. The episode ends with an explosive confrontation between Shauna and Melissa. Shauna's insanity reaches new heights as she physically attacks Melissa, bites into her arm, and threatens her in the most grotesque way possible. It's clear that Shauna's descent into madness is only going to get worse. Meanwhile, the other girls are dealing with their own inner turmoil, and it's becoming evident that no one is truly safe from the psychological fallout of their traumatic past. As the episode draws to a close, the lingering question is, where do the characters go from here? With 2 episodes left in the season, things are only going to get darker. Can the girls find their way back to civilization? Or is the wilderness more than just a physical place? Is it something that has truly taken hold of them, mind and soul? Our nerdy thoughts. So what did you think of episode 8? Do you think Shauna is beyond saving, or is there a glimmer of hope for her? And what about Ty's mental state? Will she be able to fight the darkness within? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep watching and stay tuned for more mind-bending moments from Yellowjackets.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.